I feel like I'm in a congressional hearing being interrogated. Next question. It's just awesome.
Well, this time, I lost count after 200, so I don't have the exact number for you. I would say that the scale of this movie by far is the biggest we've ever attempted, you know? So, yeah, I know that we passed 200 on another film, but for sure this one, we crashed more cars than any other. Oh man, you're trying to stir things up, huh? You know, I really it was such a like organic thing. I think when I joined and Sung, hey, I actually didn't get to say, I didn't know Sung was on this. So hey, Sung.
Hey, Justin.
Nice hair, man.
Hey, you too.
I'm going for the Han look too.
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna go into the wig business after the movie.
You know, I think for me as a filmmaker, I feel very fortunate. You know, I think when I first joined up, Fast and Furious was not the same as Fast and Furious now. You know, it was really just a car racing franchise, and you know, I was able to enter with Sung, and we had such a great time making Tokyo Drift. And you know, part of the ending of getting Dom was to really kind of recognize that this whole universe, all these characters actually exist together, you know? And so I made I had a great conversation with Vin, and we talked about, and we really connected, and we talked about kind of our experience as filmmakers, you know? And I will, you know, Sung definitely was there with me when we made our credit card movie. And I could tell you, you know, I think when Michelle a lot of times talk about us, you know, about Fast and Furious, she talks about us representing the group that was on the other side of the tracks, you know, and that actually really rings true, you know, and it feels like, you know, none of us were supposed to be here because, you know, in various points of our career, people are always saying, yeah, you shouldn't be doing this, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. And so I think part of what we made a pact was that no matter what, if we are lucky enough to earn another chapter, we're gonna defy expectations and we're gonna keep evolving and growing, you know, and that was the spirit of Fast and Furious, you know. So when Sung and I left at 6, I felt like this is great. We built it to something very special. It was time to try other things, but we left it better than we found it, you know, and so it was very emotional to leave, but for me, I actually never felt like I fully left either because like, you know, Vin would call me, the studio was always so gracious and always, you know, extending an open invitation whenever I want to come back. And so I knew that if I was going to come back, it had to be something very organic, you know, and a part of that is about growth and evolution. And if we could tell a story that's more, you know, hopefully compelling, but we could also kind of push the scale of things organically, that is what, you know, makes it all worth it. You know, I think when you know, when I left, you know, obviously, you know, the decision was made that Brian O'Connor was gonna be part of this universe, even after Paul's passing. And, you know, I think for me, I think that is something that I will never take for granted, you know, and I wanna make sure, you know, whatever we do in a very respectful way. And I think that, you know, I think to know that his character is living on means a lot. I know to me, I know to all the fans. And it's something that, you know, creatively, we're always talking about, you know, making sure that, you know, we respect Paul and, you know, at the same time as we're building out our next chapters. It was very emotional for me, you know. I think that I think this was something that was very much earned, you know. I think that you know, obviously Han is very special to me. I feel like I grew up with Han, with Sung, and you know, we've gone through such a great journey. So when we left, I felt like, okay, that's, you know, that's it. That's the end of our chapter with this character. But then when I found out what happened, we were actually, Sung was with me. We were at this Better Luck Tomorrow screening at the Egyptian for our 15th anniversary, and one of the fans brought up Justice for Han, and I was really curious. And when they told me what happened, I was blown away. I was baffled. I didn't know, like, why would anybody do that? And also the treatment to Han, you know, that made no sense to me. So yeah, I definitely like emotionally reacted, and I had a very similar reaction to with the fans. And so when I came back, it just felt like, wow, it's almost like poetic. I feel like movement for Justice for Han was needed, but at the same time, me coming back felt like, oh, I get to now re-engage with Han and Sung. And so it felt very much like it was meant to be, you know? And I give the fans so much credit for them to love that character so much that when there was something that was wrong, they voiced it to a point where I think we could have a real discussion. So having him come back, you know, that for all that to happen meant a lot. And so the creative with Sung, that was just the icing on the cake. That was just fun, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's a special opportunity, you know, to be able to continue to work with your friend in this business. It's rare, you know. You meet so many people on a set, on one project, and sometimes you never see them again. But, you know, Justin and I, you know, we spent most of our careers together, you know, and it's funny how we started with Han, and we're back with Han, but we're older. And I think if, you know, the Justice for Han campaign started a little earlier, I don't think maybe we wouldn't have been ready as just people. You know, Justin's a father, he's older, I'm older. You know, life lessons have taught us certain things that we can put into our art. So, you know, it was an honor to be invited back from the fans. It was an honor to be able to work with your friend that cares about this character so much. I mean, it means so much as an artist to have someone care about a character, you know, and understand you deeply enough to know where your strengths are and your weaknesses are, and to be able to affect people through a character, and to do it with a friend that you started your career with. You know, that journey together is really the Hollywood dream come true, you know, so.
Yeah, you know, I think on every level, I think on the story level, it meant a lot for us to earn that scene. But for, you know, just us as, you know, the cast and me, you know, it was just nice to be able to kind of share that space again, you know. And it was interesting because we were shooting in London, and you know, I feel like I saw Sung, and you know, but I didn't even realize the emotional impact it was going to have when we're all in that moment and just reconnecting. That was like it felt very real, and it was a true connection, even though we've seen each other. But for that moment to happen, it really did feel like the weight and the emotion of it was very true.
And time, you know, time is, you know, the test of truth. After years of not seeing each other, coming back together, the camera doesn't lie. You know, we did miss each other. You realize all those years together and all those films together, there is a bond, you know, and we are family. And it's just, you know, it's hard to describe in words, because it's just something that I think we as humans need, and we know when it's honest or not, you know. And no matter how dysfunctional our family is, we are a family, and it's great to see each other, you know. Yeah. I feel like I'm in a congressional hearing being interrogated. Next question. This is awesome. Well, Justin hasn't changed in his approach to actors, you know, because, you know, as a director, you are the coach. You're the coach of the team, and it's, you know, you set the tone, you set the energy. And, you know, Justin just has a natural leadership ability. You know, it's like being on the basketball team, you know, with a great coach, you know. So The energy and the communication and the feeling of being supported by the director has always been there from the beginning, and it continues, and that's why the actors from the Fast and Furious franchise and any project that Justin works on, they want to keep working with him. They love it when he comes back because they feel protected as actors, right? So that in terms of his process as a director hasn't changed, but what has changed is the scope and the level of, ability, after years and honing his craft and still seeing that he has passion for what he does is inspiring. Some people just get jaded, they get sick of it, and they don't want to do it anymore. They're doing it for the wrong reasons. But he's still here, and he's still trying to put his fingerprint on these films that he makes and have a deeper message to it somehow, and that's exciting to see because you know that the fire is going to keep going, even if no matter what success, there's always something more, to mine and to accomplish on a sincere level, right? So, to see him stay the same in terms of his process and his love for actors and the whole process of filmmaking, but to see the growth, right, in his craft, it's pretty cool to see as a friend and be there together and witness that,
Yeah, it's interesting. I think for my experience, I remember working with Sung and the cast of Better Luck Tomorrow. It was very evident to me that it was not an issue of like diversity and this and that. It was just an issue of opportunity, And I remember before we got into Sundance, I'd called all the actors together and we put, I said, look, we're gonna do a screening and I'm so proud of your performance. I just want you to bring in anybody that you think can help you in your career because I don't know where this film is going to go, And we had this one screening and it was like the worst screening in my life. And these were all people that were supposed to be there to try to help them because I just felt like I was baffled. And I realized that, now that I have all this time, is that people were so conservative that they were not looking at them as actors putting on a good performance. They were looking at them as commodity and going, well, why would I support them? There's no Asian American playing roles. I can't make, it was a business thing. It was so disgusting to me. And so what I really was proud of is that our film then got into Sundance and everybody's kind of created more opportunities for themselves, And I think through the times, going in there and trying to have that real dialogue was tough. It was tough and, even when making Tokyo Drift, but I gotta give Universal a lot of credit because once I had that conversation with them, they were open to really changing the process. It just makes cinema and makes TV more interesting, And I think I have a lot of hope for the future, but I don't think it's something that we could sit here and go, oh yeah, we're in a good place. Let's call it a day. It's like, I feel like we're still kind of like in the very early stages of it. If you think about it, Hollywood existed, 100 years before I got my chance. And so I feel like there's still a lot of growth to be had. And the more people that have opportunities, they're gonna have the opportunity to have those dialogues. And that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, and it's becoming a global world more and more each day. I mean, when we started, the timing was perfect because it's when most of the Asian American students throughout the colleges in America were started on email. So they were able to, come together and share this information called Better Luck Tomorrow, a film that represented their faces and their generation for the first time. And I think, opportunities, at least the way I see it now, I mean, when we were making Better Luck Tomorrow and Tokyo Drift, most of the Asian American actors I knew were unemployed. There'd be like one or two of them working and everyone else is like fighting for scraps and then they go on the unemployment line. But now the majority are working. Maybe it's not, the characters or the 3 dimensions that they're looking for, but there's more opportunities today because there are more people behind the camera, that are making decisions. And I think social media and the internet has brought people together. And now, people are demanding to see their face on screen. So it's baby steps, you know, and then you take a few steps, back. But I think through art and films like Fast and Furious, it shows that, diversity can convert to commerce, that it does work. There is business by putting people of all different shapes and colors in the film. So I feel very optimistic, and I realize I'm not alone, man. We got directors, we got other actors, we got writers, producers in the game. We're all kind of trying to achieve the same thing, is to, show the world as it is through our art. So very optimistic. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you everyone.